Hello out there, traders in tackle trading land. Here I am. This is Coach G with another options report for January 16th, 2016. I'm going to jump right into it. Real quickly, I want to go into this option report, but I just want to do a recap of last week. Last week, we had some crazy volatility. I put that in the report up here on the top just to do a little recap. Our bulls never triggered. DRI and GD never triggered because the market dropped. They never hit our bullish triggers. The bears, however, did really good. CoreLogic did really good. That was very profitable if you follow the post. Macy's never triggered. That's okay. I still have the trade out there. Buffalo Wild Wing on our credit spreads. That's showing a profit. We're hanging on to that still. Domino's Pizza showing a small profit on the debit spread. That's a debit condor. And Chipotle Mexican Grill. We have a real cheap condor, a debit condor on there. That's showing a small loss, still in that trade, plenty of days to go. And we're still holding positions from previous reports. BA, WUBA, GoPro, Silver, UNG, USO, UVXY, Amgen, SIG, and AVGO. Now, we're only holding a few contracts in some of these, but silver, natural gas, and oil, and UVXY, those are our cash flow plays, and we recently added GoPro. Okay, this week, bullish team. Before I jump into this, I would like to go show you a chart on the markets. Let's look at the markets real quickly. Now, this is important because this wasn't a great week to be looking for trades. As you know, the S&P has sold off dramatically, and we're down here near major support, but it did pierce it. We're expecting, or at least I'm expecting, a bounce here pretty soon. If it doesn't and it breaks through this could be a big drop to the downside. This could be another big drop to the downside. And instead of risking it, I am personally going to sit back and not put a lot of money on the table. Okay, see this drop here? This is all in the last 2 weeks. And we're again at the August supports in October. If this breaks, we can drop another 40 to 50 points easily in a day. And I do not want to have a lot of money on the table until we get more of a trend identification. So back to the option report. Two real easy little bullish plays. They were hard to find actually. So if the market does bounce, I found a couple guys that I don't mind putting a little bit of option risk into because it's very low risk. Here is DWA. DWA has been going opposite of the market. This is DreamWorks Animation. Notice the channel going here. So yeah, we got our trigger up here. We got our trigger up here and waiting for DWA to trigger us in about 26-ish, right about here, about 26. And I don't know if you guys can see that line real clearly, but right about 26 is above a few resistance areas. If the market does bounce, it'll add fuel to this, and this should give us a nice move upwards to at least 27, 28. The next one on the option report I was looking at is 5. Another nice bullish trend going the opposite of the market. See the relative strength of these stocks that I'm showing you here, they're not participating in the market sell-off. They're actually swimming upstream, I like to call it. Look at this channel here. This is Five Below Incorporated. Nice doji right on the 20. If you're a trader, that's a sign that this might be a reversal. We got our trigger just above it here at 34.15 to buy calls. And we'll see how that pans out if we get our bounce this week. Next one is we're now down to our Bears team. Bears team, ready for this? Bears, like I said before, like the rest of the market, are overstretched. We've already taken a lot of profit on the puts, and we're still holding on some and tightening up our stops. The implied volatility in the options is way overstretched. The VIX is way up there. Options are expensive, so it's hard to buy puts that are expensive, especially if you feel there's going to be a bounce. So no really good candidates out there for me to risk. I found some chart setups, but I want to see the market have a breather and give me a better setup. On the other hand, though, since the options are expensive, found a whole bunch of credit spreads. Two of my favorite that I liked in my screeners, again, is USO. If you look at USO, look at the sell-off here. And I want to point down here to kind of look at this little area down here. This, what I'm putting a circle on right here, is the RSI. It's overstretched. Now, oil, as everybody knows, is all-time lows, really has sold off and is very much overstretched to the downside. Here it is sitting there at 879. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bottom fish. I've already got a lot of shares, but I wouldn't mind picking up more shares cheaper. So I'm going to sell the February 1 8 strike. The 8 strike, if you look at the chart, is way down there. It's another 80 cents lower. So I'm about almost 10% out of the money. And the return, looking at today's option prices, if I could get 17 cents or more, they're showing 20 cents on the bid right now. But if I could get 17 cents or more, that's well over 10% return on a margin account. If I get 20 cents or more, that's well over like 14 or 15%. So I don't mind selling those. If I get assigned at 8, that brings my cost of the stock down to 8 minus my premium of 7.83. That's $1 lower where the stock is now. That would be a great deal for me to pick up oil even lower at a price 10% lower than it already is. Now, if I get assigned, what am I going to do with the stock that's at its all-time lows and might hang out there for a while? I will start selling calls. I'll start to sell calls, and I'll probably sell the at-the-money calls. Now, what I've added here to the option report is you can click here. This is a cash flow strategy flow sheet. You click that, it'll bring up a report on the strategy I'm talking about, otherwise known as the Wheel of Fortune or a cash flow strategy, where you sell puts until you obtain a call. Then you turn around and buy calls, turn around and sell calls against the stock you're holding. Or if you'd like to see a naked put video, there's one right here. You click below there. They'll give you the basics of that. And then we have the next trade, ORLY, O'Reilly Automotive. This is a simple credit spread. If you look at the chart here, O'Reilly has been downtrending, and I'm selling a credit spread way above resistance here. In fact, where are we going to be at this one? Selling the 260 by 270 out of the money. If you look at the chart, that's way out of the money on O'Reilly. Way out of 260 by 270. That puts you way up here above that high resistance. So there's the credit spread area. That is currently about $30 out of the money. Will it bounce? Most likely. It's trying to do that right now. I can tell by this white candle. But there's a lot of overhead resistance. I don't mind bringing in a credit that far out of the money. Be careful, earnings season is coming up, so you have to plan your exits accordingly because of earnings. Last but not least, the debit spread. One of my favorite strategies I call the Debit Condor. It's an iron condor with puts and calls. That's why we call it an iron condor. But it's a debit spread with puts and a debit spread with the calls. By doing this spread, I'm doing the 135 by 125 for Feb 3 expiration and the 150 by 160. Where does that put you on the chart? Basically, volatility is low on these options. It's hard to believe they're pretty low for where this downtrend has been going in. But we have a put spread here at 135 and another call spread. These are debit spreads at 150. So if it goes down from here, you make money. And if it goes up from there, you make money. So either way, we just need it to go up or down, not sideways like this. This is a debit condor. You want it to move. Not like an iron condor where you don't want it to move. This is a debit condor where you want it to move. And being on February 3 expiration, this gives us a month to do it. So I believe we could get a good 15-point move out of stock like that. Okay, that does it for the option report. And again, right below our trades here, there's example videos and strategy overviews we've added. Let me know if you like that and have fun. And by the way, there's some tutorials here on contingent orders. If you don't know what a trigger order is, this is how you use your triggers up here on the top. Entry triggers and exit triggers. Feel free to watch those. There's a lot of tutorials and your risk calculator down here. If you click the download button, you can download this to your desktop and put in your own entry and exit and your own risk parameters. And that would be called Wise Risk Management. Always remember to keep up with your trading, keep up your skills by practicing. If you're just beginning, definitely try these in paper money, and stay tuned to more from Tackle Trading.